Another chilly overnight, but construction continued for the Schuylkill Expressway, so you're probably tired of hearing me talk about this during the early morning hours, but I really just want to remind you that this brand new construction happening nightly from Sunday nights through Thursday nights is going to be with us for about the next 6 months. So that's all part of the Market Street Bridge repairs. 76 westbound did reopen well before 5 a.m. and that's been the case this week, so I'm hoping that we stay on this schedule of opening earlier than expected, because the full closure westbound at 30th Street is expected until 5 a.m. But for the most part, it's been 4:30, and they've been completely clearing off of the roadways. So 76 westbound by South Street is looking good. Travel times between Broad Street and Spring Garden Street at around 7 minutes. Now, there is still some reports of work happening on the ramp from Roosevelt Boulevard southbound. That's heading towards the Schuylkill westbound. 76, though, passing by the boulevard is looking very quiet right now. I'll send it back to you. Okay, heading out the door right now, watching some construction on the 42 freeway. So before I get to what's happening, let's give you a live look outside. Traffic is still moving despite the report of the road work, so it should be within this vicinity. I should be able to see it on the camera, so I'm thinking that they've either cleared it or they're in the process of clearing it out of the camera's view, because it was impacting 76 and 42 in both directions from Route 130 to 295. Reportedly in that left lane. Now, travel times northbound if you're coming up towards Philadelphia and hoping to head over the Ben Franklin and the Walt Whitman bridges. No concerns, 5 minutes up from the AC Expressway, so we are looking good towards those bridges. But here in Pennsauken, closer to the Coney-Palmyra Bridge, there's reports of a down pole. So this happened during the overnight hours. Route 73 northbound, 2 of the right lanes closed between Route 130 and Remington Avenue. So if you're using Coney-Palmyra this morning, this could slow you down. Deja, over to you.
Got to check out those roadways. A little bit of a breeze, even windier tomorrow.
All right, Monica, a lot of those Christmas decorations blowing around. If you've got the blow ups, that's important. I know I've got some on my front step that keep falling over and it's driving me nuts. Let's get you out the door right now and give you a look at the Schuylkill Expressway. Westbound construction was happening overnight, of course, by 30th Street. So this is new, all part of the Market Street Bridge repairs happening nightly, Sundays through Thursdays from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. This morning they opened well before 5, and that's been sort of the theme throughout the week. So hopefully that continues here. 76 right now looking good by South Street and under 30th Street. Travel times right around 6 minutes from Broad Street heading out towards Spring Garden Street. Construction has also cleared on Roosevelt Boulevard southbound. The ramp to 76 westbound is completely open. Deja, over to you. A couple of small problems out there right now, so let's head into Montgomery County, watching police activity behind a crash on 309. This is impacting the southbound side after the Pennsylvania Turnpike, partially blocking a right lane. So be careful as you work your way past that. Looks like there's a pretty big response right now in terms of first responders. If you're in Chester County, Route 100 on the northbound side by Lincoln Highway, it was a broken down car, but that's already cleared. It was somewhere just up here along the shoulder, and I'm no longer seeing that PennDOT vehicle there assisting. So not really a big deal at all. No travel times impacted if you're heading out in Exton for Route 100. Still watching some road work in Camden County. This is scheduled till 6 a.m., so give or take another 10 minutes or so. 7642 between Route 130 and 295 in both directions, left lane blocked. Deja.
A little bit warmer.
All right, Monica, heading out right now, 95, hearing reports of a broken down vehicle northbound at Bridge Street. So this camera's view is closer to the Betsy Ross Bridge. You'll notice some of that volume there. We also look like we've got a car here that is off to the shoulder. I noticed that the driver was out and about, sort of walking on the shoulder of 95 northbound. So that is, of course, not recommended to do. But traffic at this point is pretty slow back to the Betsy Ross Bridge here, as the camera again is trying to really locate the full incident. As that one vehicle there off to the shoulder, I don't think that was the initial report. I think that's a secondary car there that sort of pulled off. So what you need to know is right now northbound side is pretty backed up. It's about 24 minutes heading from the Vine to Woodhaven Road. I'll send it back to you. Monica, heading out the door, I'm watching problems on 95 northbound. So it's a crash right by Aramingo Avenue, and police officers right now seem to be pushing off some of the vehicles that were involved in that incident, so probably broken get off the roadway. But this is causing major delays on the northbound side already at nearly an hour between the Vine and Allegheny Avenue and the Betsy Ross Bridge. So if you are leaving soon and you use 95 Northbound Street closer to Cottman Avenue, that's going to save you a whole lot of time. Elsewhere this morning in Montgomery County, Route 309 southbound, there's police behind a broken down car after the Pennsylvania Turnpike. It's blocking a right lane, so getting by this is slow. Daisha, over to you. Yeah, 95 trying to clear a northbound crash that happened pretty early this morning by Aramingo Avenue, and I just got word that all lanes should be back open, but this really causing some damage here. A live look outside. We've got lots of brake lights building behind what was that incident, and a travel time of 54 minutes from the Vine to Woodhaven Road. So most of that delay is pretty much from Allegheny Avenue getting to Bridge Street as you're entering the work zone. So maybe get on to 95 northbound after this mess, closer to Cottman Avenue, and then it's smooth sailing into Bucks County southbound at 23 minutes as you're coming into the city. Schuylkill Expressway is quiet right now, under 20 minutes eastbound and westbound between the Vine and the Blue Route. Deja, over to you. Heading out the door right now, still watching problems on 95. So the northbound crash by Aramingo Avenue has been cleared for the most part, but by clearing it, they really just moved up a lot of the activity here northbound before Cottman Avenue. And there was a secondary issue by Cottman Avenue, which was a totally separate incident of a broken down vehicle that was also off to the right shoulder. So still watching delays northbound leaving Center City as you're making your way through the work zone. It's tough. 35 minutes from the Vine to Woodhaven Road. A lot of that traffic starting right after 676. Pretty solid delays through the Betsy Ross Bridge, and then once you pass Cottman Avenue, you should be good to go. But it's never a good morning when that southbound travel time, which is normally much heavier than the northbound side, is quieter. So 23 minutes as you're coming down southbound from Woodhaven Road to 676. If you're in Montgomery County, Route 309 southbound, still watching a broken down car here. This is after the Pennsylvania Turnpike in a right lane, and you'll notice that traffic here on 309. So if you're passing the turnpike, I'd get ready to hit the brakes. About a 5 to 10 minute delay at this point. Alyssa, over to you.
All right, thank you.
Monica's still watching problems on 95 northbound side before Cottman Avenue. Activity off to the right shoulder. We had an earlier crash. There's a broken down vehicle. So lots of excitement on 95 northbound right now. Those delays are heavy back to Aramingo Avenue. The travel time's been trying to rebound, but it's been tough. Now that we're in rush hour, about 36 minutes leaving the city, heading towards Woodhaven Road. If you get onto the roadway closer to Cottman Avenue, then it is smooth sailing into Bucks County, but before that point, just a mess. 23 minutes southbound into Center City. 309 southbound Montgomery County, we've got a broken down car after the Pennsylvania Turnpike. This is blocking off that right lane. And new in Delaware, Route 1 northbound crash reported by Route 13, causing some very heavy delays into Christiana. Deja, over to you.
Morning.
Monica, lots of problems out there. So these Schuylkill Expressway delays, this of the ramp partially blocking the left lane on 76 eastbound. So about 18 minutes from Spring Garden Street heading to Broad Street. That traffic is really backing up under 30th and past the Vine as well. So I would not be surprised if 676 also feels an impact from this. 95 northbound, a lot of the crash activity has cleared from the right shoulder before Cottman Avenue, but we still have this broken down car there on the right shoulder. But I think now that the officers and first responders on the northbound side, it is still looking slow back to Aramingo Avenue, leaving the city 34 minutes heading to Woodhaven Road. So still a heavier travel time than the southbound side, which is always a tough morning commute for 95. Out southbound after the Pennsylvania Turnpike towards Route 73. For Flowertown, we still have activity off to the shoulder. There was a right lane that was closed with a broken down car, but now it's all off to that shoulder. Alyssa, over to you.
Traffic, good morning.
Monica, watching some big problems in Newcastle County, Delaware right now. So Route 1, all lanes are shut down between Route 13 and Route 40 for a crash. And this delay is taking us all the way across the Roth Bridge. So Route 1 northbound before the bridge, before you're even getting over the William Roth Bridge, watching major delays here. So again, that closure is happening between Route 13 and Route 40. all lanes are blocked. If you're in Philadelphia, the Schuylkill Expressway crash eastbound after South Street right at the entrance ramp, partially blocking that left lane. So it's about 20 minutes eastbound from Spring Garden Street to Broad Street. Westbound also seeing that 20-minute drive. 95 northbound still have a broken down car off to the shoulder before Cottman Avenue. Back to Aramingo Avenue still looks a little bit slow, but travel times continue to improve after an earlier crash that was also impacting the area has cleared. 28 minutes from the Vine to Woodhaven Road. Deja, heading into Camden County, Berlin, reports of a crash out there on the White Horse Pike that is now closing all lanes. So full-on closure eastbound and westbound. That's right between Franklin Avenue and United States Avenue. So I would avoid that area in the time being here as they are working to clear some of that activity, but looks like it's a pretty serious one if they're closing all lanes. Now 295 northbound. There was a crash by Route 30. That one just cleared about 17 minutes from 42 heading to Route 73. So traffic is moving better through that area. Maybe back to the Black Horse Pike, you could still expect to see some traffic. Route 1 in Delaware, Newcastle County, the crash that was closing all lanes between Route 13 and Route 40 has cleared, but delays are still very heavy back to the Roth Bridge. 22 minutes as you're heading towards Route 40, speeds reported in the teens. Alyssa, over to you.
All right, thanks, Jenna.